Hey everybody. Hey, back real quick with just a quick update. This will be a short stream, but I just wanted to push an update because I've been doing a lot of work on the back end off stream, and we've made a ton of progress, and I just want to show you what it looks like. So, um, looking back at our to-do list, we crossed off a ton of things the last time we were live, and I also added some more and crossed off some more things off stream. So let's go ahead and launch the app here. So I'll show you exactly what we added. And I'm pretty stoked at how it's turning out. So this already is somewhat new. You'll notice that we're using a completely different UI up here. This is mostly the same, though we did change the width on categories here. They were just like way too wide and there wasn't enough room for descriptions. So I did update that. There is like a wrapping thing going on here, so I might tweak it. I might shorten the notes or something like that. I don't know, because I mean, notes aren't super useful anyway for most people, and they're usually short and sweet. So I think there's kind of excessive space there. But that being said, yeah, this already looks better than it used to, and I can make another edit that'll improve it. A lot of these updates are UI related. Didn't do a whole lot of backend. I didn't really work on like the logic on transaction imports or anything like that. But the UI, I was getting sick of it. AI is just not very good at building AI UI, Claude and all that. So I went in there and sort of poked around. I've been modifying some things. Statements is where there was a huge difference, and this should look totally different to you guys. We got rid of the old tabs. We now have these new tabs, which I think are super intuitive. And not only do they look nice and they kind of match our aesthetic, but they also afford us a cool trick, which is that the tabs only need to take up this part of this side of the table without there being like a line stretching across the whole thing. So we can fit all of the UI elements on a single row with this new UI style here. So that's super cool. We can scroll through the years. I mean, this looks super clean. We took the categories out of the tracking thing, so we just ripped that out anyway, because you're only going to really set those like every once in a while. So it should not be a main button. And we put that into the kebab menu over here. I'm going to put it probably at the top, and I may even style it slightly differently. I don't know yet, but for right now, it's just right here. Same deal. It's got the colors, so it's color coded. So green is green, and you'll see, I'll point that out again here in a second, but it accordion styles expands out, and uncategorized is locked as it should be, because we don't want people messing with that, because we need that for uncategorized transactions. You can add a new one, remove, and then of course it's going to collapse the rest whenever you expand out another one. So I have the colors fixed now. I was thinking about a color picker, but I don't know. I feel like this is fine for right now. It's not a huge deal. And income should probably be green and expenses should probably be red. So, yeah, you could make these different, I guess, but whatever. And then yeah, the green maps to a really slick accent bar that just rests at the bottom of the header cell. So the user should be able to get a pretty quick and clear idea of what they're doing when they're making edits in their statement. So cash flow, primary income, green is their income. It's an income column. Red is their expense columns. Blue is your savings columns, and of course, purple is your investment column. So looks really good. Balance sheet slightly different, but also like basically the same. Your cash accounts are green, your debt accounts are red, investments are purple, and your retirement is blue. There is some flexibility here. So I might make a slight change, but honestly, I think this already makes pretty good intuitive sense. So, and you'll notice that this now mimics the same styles as categories. So it should make sense to people when they're doing this. Right now, it does live in the kebab. I think that's a good place for now. It may not be a permanent resting place, but it's pretty decent. I think it makes a lot of sense, or it makes good enough sense. There's an argument that I was kind of going back and forth with myself of like, well, it could just be like a prominent button next to the kebab, just keep like the year management in the kebab, and then just like have a button there and then a button there. Uh, I don't know. I'm still kind of mulling that over. I got some models that I'm kind of playing with. So we'll see what I come up with here. But again, this is already leaps and bounds better than what it looked like before. So, and again, a lot of that was through this breakthrough of like, oh yeah, this is a style that exists. I was just kind of Googling. I was like on like Mobbin, Dribble, a lot of those like UI example websites, and then I just saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So implemented that, super happy with that. Super happy with how this is turning out. This is looking pretty good. Um, yeah, so, and the computed, I can't remember if we made this change last time. Again, I did a ton of UI stuff since last time, but we made the computed values just the same as our accent color. I didn't want to make it blue because I think blue, we're just going to reserve blue for this stuff, this information. I want to take into consideration sort of like the intuitive processing that a user might kind of go through as they're kind of learning the app. These notifications are tied to these things. I don't want there to be sort of like crosstalk in people's heads with like, oh well, this is blue too. They're just different. They're different things. They're not really related. So I think using the accent is nice and neutral. Um, it tells you something without giving it like a good or a bad or a look here. It's just neutral because the user has been kind of conditioned to see the rest of the accent everywhere else. So um, that is my reasoning so far. And I think it looks good. I think it looks good. Again, we need some testers. We need some people to take a look, download it, and give some feedback to really sort of iron out some of the specifics here. But so far, things are good. Let me adjust my height real quick. um, what else have we changed? This is basically the same for now. Cash flow reports got the same tab treatment. Looks so much cleaner. Super happy with this. This is the same. This is going to get a rework here shortly. This is definitely on my list. I don't know if it's actually like on my real list. No, cash flow forecast UI revamp. We're definitely gonna do that. Debt tracking tool. I think I am gonna add that tool. I think it's a good one to ship for the 1.0 release. I might do that closer to the end of development, leading up to the 1.0 release, but it should definitely be in there. I think that's a super important one. Probably even more important than even just a credit card tracker. But excuse me. Definitely on the list. A couple of minor UI bugs that we're definitely going to address at some point. I know these have sort of been put on the back burner as we're kind of adding and knocking out things on the list, but we'll get there. And it'll give us some stuff to do on stream later here. But really happy with how this is turning out. This is all super clean. I am structuring a plan and trying to figure out the feasibility of subcategories. I don't like the idea of putting subcategories in a table. It's just going to create way too much mess. But if we could assign a subcategory as like metadata to a transaction, that way we could get sort of like a second or a third tier of the flowchart, because like food, I've combined, I am combining groceries and dining, and then it'll just be food, and then from food you can see groceries and dining, and you can do the same with like insurance, like health insurance, car insurance, renter's insurance, whatever, and shopping, you might be, household shopping or general shopping, entertainment, different things, health and wellness. Some of that might just be a gym membership. Some of that might be like actual like medical bills. It'd be kind of nice to see that third tier of categorization for people in a lot of cases. For me personally, especially for like food, I like to track like how am I doing this month with like eating out versus cooking, um, and that sort of thing. So this is largely the same. There's not really much to change here. I might add some more different spending trends, graphs, but we'll come to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Report cards, I really like this idea. We just got to flesh it out a little bit more, I think, but I really like this idea. So yeah, most of the changes were here in this part of the app. Really, really enjoying this. It's made it so much easier for me to use. It's a lot more intuitive. Transactions is looking good. I don't think there's a whole lot we need to do UI wise here, though. There might, like I said, I'm probably going to fix the wrapping for categories here, and definitely going to keep adding and keep working towards that. Hopefully 70% auto auto categorization goal that we have. That would be really nice. Home is looking good. We added the tabs to the top right, date on the top left, so we can just kind of scroll through our months. We can also click and scroll down, so I can go to like June, I can go to March and get a nice snapshot of what things look like. Obviously, this is like fake data that I had Claude make, so some of these don't really make sense, but you can see what we're doing here. And then year to year, you can see this. Now, you obviously need some balance sheet stuff going on to get an idea of what that looks like. So let's go ahead and just yeah, some fake data here. It's fine. July. So it's all the same. And again, notice that spreadsheet behavior. We're able to copy all this and then copy it down. Love that. As somebody that has kept a manual spreadsheet, it just makes porting that information over super easy, and also makes managing it in real time easy as well. So now if we go to our home dashboard, we can see our capital profile. I'm probably going to rename this to like account snapshot. I think that makes a little bit more sense, but yeah, we can see our investments, our cash, our retirement, and our debt, and a nice little pie chart of that breakup. We can see our net worth. Our net worth has not changed because I copied the same values in the statement. So that's, but yeah, there's all of that. Again, if you had different values, this would look like a real graph, but just a flat line. But I think it looks really good. I like the colors. I like the styles. I like the hierarchy here. I like the tabs. Everything is really coming together. So yeah, that's about it. Like I said, just a quick, just a quick recap of the changes that I've been making offline. And I can't remember now. There's nothing we really added here. So dark mode is, I don't think I've ever showed off dark mode. Dark mode works, and I fixed a visual bug that was making this kind of inconsistent, but there is still a lot of work I gotta do in dark mode. Dark mode is not just an inversion of light mode. I know a lot of people think that, but it's not. It requires basically its complete own attention. There's just different things to consider with dark mode that aren't necessarily true for light mode. So, but all of the elements still look good in my opinion. The highlighting looks good. This accent bar looks good. The balance sheet looks good. All of this is looking really good. So in dark mode, for some reason, the retirement is yellow. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I gotta fix that. I know why it's doing that. It's actually probably just like literally right here. If we go to themes, yeah, it's using outdated CSS tokens. So it should actually just inherit these. Why did you close my other thing? Okay. So we can actually just delete these. I think that's all we have to do. Relaunch. Statements. Yeah, there you go. Simple. Looks good. The purple's a little bold. I might dull the purple so it looks like it's on the same ramp. I can actually calculate it using OKLHC. I believe that's the right thing that I'm talking about. But for now, I'm just going to eyeball it. There's a correct way to compute the color that makes sense for the hue and saturation ramp that you're using. You can see the ramp here, up here. So here's my base color ramp. Here's my accent color ramp. You can generate that. Let me show you how to generate that. If you let AI do this, it'll look like shit. It'll look super AI slop. So go to tint.dev, and this will generate a ramp for you. It looks really nice. It uses real color theory. So you can go to OKLHC. What's this place called? Is it literally oklhc.com? It is. Great. So you pick an accent. So let's say like you're building an app and you have like a specific color that you're like, this is the color of my app. Let's say it's I don't know. Here you go. Like this terracotta kind of looking color. This is pretty cool. This is a nice color. Let's saturate this or darken it up. Give it some chroma. There we go. Kind of a earthy, but kind of bold. Looks nice. You take that, copy it, and then drop it into, we're just going to call this terracotta. It doesn't matter. Drop the hex value in, and then bam, it just creates a ramp for you. Excuse me. This will give you a different light distribution. So this is based off of human eye perception, and then this is like actual calculated value. So sometimes for certain colors, it's like not very different. And then for other colors, it's drastically different. It also depends on where you anchor the color. So if you anchor this color lower down the ramp, you're going to get a much more color saturated ramp, and the jump is from here to here is going to be like way too high. So usually just pick, like when you're picking a color, it's usually going to be like a 400 or a 500 value that you're going for. I think I used 500. Let me see. Yeah, I used 500. And then yeah, so this website will generate a fantastic hue ramp for you, or color ramp, and then it'll give you OKLHC values, which is accepted in CSS. But you can also just do the hex value and then just switch it to hex and copy and paste your ramp, which is exactly what I did, and then assign those style tokens out. I did a lot of this by hand, but if you tell AI specifically, like Claude or whatever, to specifically do this, it does a pretty good job at doing it as well. But yeah, for color stuff, I like to be in control because I think AI does a pretty bad job with colors, generally speaking. So yes, back to the app. So yeah, it's using that color ramp for the graphs, and it looks good. This looks good. And this now looks a lot better. Oh yeah, we're checking up on the purple. Yeah, purple looks a lot better. It doesn't seem so out of place. So, you know, I was just, like I said, just eyeballing it. I can calculate it later. So how you would calculate, oh yeah, so how you would calculate. So let's say you're using this for your ramp, and you're like, okay, I want a purple. You leave the chroma the same, you leave the lightness the same, you leave the alpha the same, and then you just find a purple on the hue ramp. So here's a purple, and then copy and paste it, add palette, 500 value, bam, there you go. So wherever you use like a 300 in your terracotta, you would use a 300 in your purple. Pretty straightforward. Super easy way to create consistent, visually pleasing color palettes. So definitely check this out. This is hallmark or a staple rather of my design workflow. So looks good, looks good. Anything else? I do need to change the drop downs or update the drop downs so that they are all matching. I think this one is slightly different than the other ones. I think it's just the drop shadow or something, and it also could be light mode, to be honest. Light mode might be slightly different. That one looks like that. Actually, that does look the same. It might be... Yeah, this looks different. Also, these look different. Yeah, these two match, and then these look different. So I'm going to try to unify those so that they're not so different, because that looks weird. Let's see if there's any work we, like I said, I was just wanting to do an update. I might just do a quick prompt for you guys to just knock off something from our list here. I was running into my limits here. It's sad. I did a lot of this work with Fable, and I didn't really mean to. I think there was one thing I really wanted to use Fable for. But anyway, I left it on, and I just been running up my use on Fable for some of these like small UI fixes, which is a shame because that's it's just not necessary. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna change the plan. I know tomorrow Fable goes to the, I think you can only get on the max plan. So folks are gonna have to switch to max to get access to Fable 5, and it's still gonna be the 50% usage or whatever. I do think it's kind of silly just hopping from subscription to subscription. I don't really want to do that, but to be honest, for what I'm doing, the benchmarks for like GPT Soul or Kimi 3, Kimi Code 3, I might end up switching. But at the same time, like, you know, for what, a month, and then Claude, you know, it's just going to drop like Opus 5 or something, and it's going to be way better. So who knows? You know, chasing all the subscriptions is just super expensive. And by the way, guys, this app was all in the Pro plan. $20 a month is all I've been using on Claude to create this app. So it has been more than enough. I mean, this app looks fantastic in my opinion. It's definitely way better than like the really sloppy stuff that people kind of just, you know, um, just kind of throw up onto the screen. To be quite frank, I mean, the app might work, but it just looks, I don't know. You know what I mean? There's a clear difference between AI assisted development and then just straight up like, you know, like no iteration whatsoever, just one shotting and then shipping it. Like it just looks sloppy. So this is a super good usable app that I've been using every day for my own finances. It works phenomenally, and like I said, all I have is the Pro plan. So I'm going to try to just keep skirting by with just the Pro plan, but yeah, there is a temptation for some of these frontier models. They're doing really good. So anyway, let's check out our to-do list. That's what I said I was going to do. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the delete year. Yeah, we got to start. I got to start just doing these simple things. So yeah, this delete year is using, I don't know what's going on here. So let's just fix that. We'll use Fable while we have it. It's going tomorrow anyway, so effort medium is fine. Please update the styles for delete year for the statements and balance sheet kebab options. They don't match the red styles used. Whoops. Wow. Throughout the rest of the app. Use the accent negative CSS tokens and make it look like what we did in the delete transactions menu / modal. So that should fix that. Yeah, I was already doing some changes here, but it's fine. It can be bundled. It's just UI stuff. So nothing of logical value was lost. It's still a little smoky where I'm at. Hazy. This air quality is getting better, but yesterday it was absolutely horrific. So I just kind of stayed inside and did some development, which was nice because I got a lot done. But the air quality was so bad, I was like, oh my gosh. Um, Hopefully everybody's getting that sorted out over there in Ontario, because I'm from Colorado. We've had our fair share of wildfires. I know how rough that can be. So yeah, hopefully nobody's getting hurt. But other than that, it's been a good Saturday. Yeah, since we last spoke, that Kimi Code 3 model dropped, as I was just mentioning earlier. It looks really good. I saw some, oh, what's this? Claude tweeted. We're also keeping Claude Code weekly limits 50% higher now through August 19th for all Pro Max team and seat based enterprise user. Okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, Kimi Code 3 looks really good. Okay, cool. It looks like it already finished that. That was nice and quick. Statements, kebab. Nice, looks a lot better. There we go. Yeah, that looks great. Perfect. Easy wins. We love easy wins. There we go. Cross that out. Cash flow for, yeah, it's a revamp. Drop down menus are inconsistent. I might tackle that right now. Drop down. Yeah, let's take care of the arrow. The arrow is weird. Looks great. Can you investigate the drop down menu arrows? They seem to split or separate at different levels of zoom. It should look like just one solid down arrow and up arrow respectively. Okay. Got another person who says GPT Soul just tried to delete their entire hard drive. Yeah, I don't know. That shit's crazy. It's a thinking. Yep, trying to think. Like I said, we need some feedback, so um to help sort of just shape how this is going to look. Obviously, I have an idea of how I want it to look based on my own usage, but if you're seeing this, definitely drop a comment. Download the app from the link in the description. It's free, by the way. Beta is completely free. Source available. Go to the GitHub and review the code yourself. I did my best to make it as human readable and um, maintainable as possible. So you're not just going to be reading code soup, hopefully. Um, should look like real code. So that is what we do here. And yeah, just try to use it, import your transactions, work with it for just like a week or something, and then just provide any feedback on anything that you notice, anything that you like, anything that you dislike, what you'd like to see, and we can just get that added. We can grow the app, grow the functionality, and make it the perfect budgeting app. That's the goal. Make it the perfect budgeting app. Okay, let's see what Claude's up to. Okay, he's still thinking. No problem. Yeah, let me make sure the should be in the description here. Yep. Hmm. There we go. All right, let's whoops. Launch and see see what we got here. I think they're on the reports, yeah. So there we go. Yeah, it was splitting before, so that looks good. It's not changing. I actually don't think it changed before. It's something I'll probably have to ask it to fix. Can you make it so that the arrow flips when the menu is expanded? But it looks good. Zoom all the way back out here. Yeah, I really like how our cash flow report is looking. This is just such a nice graph to have. I mean, some graphs, they're kind of just there and there's not a whole lot you can get from them. But the cash flow graph is super important. Shows exactly how much of your income you're actually preserving. I have a nice chunk here. It's fake data, but still. Um, and then where it's going, where it's getting eaten up. So obviously in this case it's uncategorized for these, but we are working that out. Is there still this? Yeah, there's still a bug here. I need to fix this. This will be a really important one to fix here. Oh, looks like it's done. Let's relaunch. Yeah, looks fine. It's not like a smooth animation or anything, but I don't care. I mean, this is fine. The polish can come later. Um, not all the way later, but just progressive polishing. So I want to take out the really important stuff first. So transactions category. Yeah. Um, get out of here. We're still planning, so we'll just leave that open. Can you update the drop down for drop down for the in the transactions section for the filters? Please update the categories drop down so that the category types, income, expense, savings, investing, are headers in the drop down. Also, investigate a bug where clicking the cash flow report section. I think they're called like rivers or pipes or something, but I don't know. Section for uncategorized does not actually bring anything up because the filter is, well, we don't know why. I have a hunch why. I suspect it's because there are 2 to 3 uncategorized items in the drop down list, and it's causing something to break. Cool. It'll get that. We're on Fable. It'll understand. Inference is good. I know how people are just like, it's so funny. Like Fable came out like what, like a freaking month and a half ago, just blowing everybody's mind, and now people are already like, oh, you know, Fable, whatever, you know, Soul 5.6, Kimmy Code 3. That's, you know, there's plenty of, you know, Fable's old news. Like, it's, the space is moving so fast that people are just forgetting just that these models are still actually really good, even old models. And again, I stand behind like Sonnet. Even like Sonnet 4.6 was fantastic. I don't know why they even freaking updated it to that new tokenizer, because the new tokenizer makes it basically unusable in my opinion. But space is moving really fast. Says the bug is clear now. It found that quick. Wow. Yeah, I also off stream, I did a engineering and security audit. So what that looks like is, I may even have the chat right here. Yeah, so I had it run, what was my prompt? My original prompt. Yeah, there's a ton here. Please perform a thorough and objective audit on all of our JavaScript and look for opportunities for efficiency, gaps in JavaScript, best practices, and engineering excellence, bugs, and security concerns. And so it ran it showed a pretty cool report, and it's kind of funny on one hand, but I also think there's merit to it on the other. Let's expand this out here. I don't know how hard this is to read. Let me see. It's probably zoomed in. So TLDR, this is an unusually well-engineered code base. It's just so funny that Claude thinks he did a good job. And I'm not saying he did a bad job. I'm just saying it's just funny giving yourself such a great little pat on the back. But we do see some of the things that are pointed out as good things. Parameterized SQL, hardened Electron shell. I'll be honest, I don't know how much I can verify this. I know some things about Electron, but this is the first time I'm using Electron to build an app. So the good news is it's a local only app. It doesn't connect to anything, and it's not storing super confidential information. So I'm not so worried about the knowledge gap on the Electron shell stuff. I think it's probably more or less talking about just like local local things. But yeah, so it says sandbox, context isolation, navigation lockdown, right guard on render relayed paths, one single runtime dependency, centralized HTML escaping, applied consistently, and comments that explain invariants rather than mechanics. No critical vulnerabilities and no data corruption bugs found. You know, could be true. I want to do some more audits, but I would like, and that's, I would like to get like Kimmy and ChatGPT just to see if it has similar opinions. I know Fable has some weird interactions with security stuff and certain guardrails. So that being said, it's also pretty easy to, you know, sort of deviate or jailbreak models to do those things anyway. But that being said, I just think this is interesting. So okay, so it says it found no critical vulnerabilities. Interesting. Bugs correctness. European. So it did find this bug, and we implemented a fix. I did fix this. European decimal comma amounts import silently wrong. The worst finding in the audit. So basically, yeah, Europeans, they use commas instead of decimals, and in America we use commas. Well, we use decimals and commas to delineate thousands places. So there's just a difference there. And so if you import American, then it sees it one way and it works. And if you import European, it breaks and it assumes the wrong thing. So we fixed that. So that looks good. No debit credit to column mapping. We did address this. I don't know. I haven't tested it actually, so I have not verified if this is actually fixed. I did ask it to implement the fix, because I understand what it means, but I haven't tested that. All it was is that, so I guess some banks have two separate columns for expense or income, you know, a credit or a debit. And so instead of just having one column, which is like amount and a positive or a negative, which is true, I have seen that. So we don't use that style of accounting in this because I want the table to be as consolidated and clean as possible. I don't want a credit or a debit column. I want an amount column. And it's obvious that if it's a negative number, it's a debit. And if it's a positive number, it's a credit. So I did ask it to fix that, and it should consolidate it and port it into our functionality, but I have not tested that. So I will put that on the to-do list. Test credit, debit to column import. Test EU import. See if we can break that some more. Report card is disagree with the home dashboard. Yeah, I kind of know about that. We're gonna fix report card. That's coming. The export doesn't neutralize embedded new lines. I did not ask it to do this because I don't quite understand what it means. It says descriptions notes can legitimately contain new lines imported from quoted CSV fields. CSV import quotes them correctly, but a new line inside a KIF line or an OFX name breaks record structure. So I'm going to ask for clarity on what that exactly means because I don't really know. Failed writes leave an optimized UI state. API categories accepts an arbitrary position. Categorize similar IDs are invalid. I think we fixed this in a change later. So security, the architecture is generally strong. No each HTTP server or port. Good. Single app origin with will navigate and window open denial. Sandbox renderer whose only capability is the IBC pipeline. OS dialog write authorization that a compromised renderer can't forge. Error responses that never leak internals, and passphrases that never touch the disk. Remaining items are hygiene, not holes. Auto lock locks the database, but not the screen or the cache. Yeah, I did note about this. I'm actually going to put that on a thing. So what that means is if we go here, Settings, preferences, security, auto lock is on. Let's set it to 1 minute. And then just chill. I'm surprised it was set to 5 minutes. Oh, it's not encrypted. It's not gonna work. Security, database encryption, new password. I wonder if y'all can guess what that was. Cool. Now it's encrypted. Now it will auto lock after 1 minute. We'll come back to that. CSV formula injection on export. I mean, so imported descriptions are attacker influenceable. I don't know that this really matters. Becomes a formula. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably fix it. But yeah, its mark is low, and I think it's low for a reason. So yeah, you can basically do a formula injection from the CSV, but you're only doing what? Corrupting the database, sabotaging the database, giving them more or less money than they think they have. Because again, it doesn't go anywhere. So I don't suspect that you can do anything like, spinning up a port or a session or something. So we'll address that, but it's a non-issue. Rekey backup file gets default permissions. Migrations aren't transactional. Yeah, I'm not worrying too much about migrations right now because we just don't really have like hardly any users. There's not a lot of databases out there. So whenever we make a change to like the SQL structure, we don't really migrate it. We just blast the old one away, do the new one. But migrations will be a thing after the 1.0 release. So efficiency. Where are we at here? Oh, okay, so I fixed it. Both items are done and verified, running in the app. Okay, cool. I just want to check this real quick. Filters. Yeah, okay. So we're looking for filter categories and we're looking for the categorize. Unlock database. Okay, yeah, so this isn't necessarily. So as you can see, you can still see things, right? So before you, what am I trying to say here? The data is visible sort of like behind the scenes, right? And so even though the database is locked and you can't interact with anything and you can't like extract or export or whatever, it's still there running in cache. So the unlock that, locking the database never locks down the cache. And also in theory, the blur is not so blurry that in some cases you could kind of make out what the numbers are. So it's not a huge thing. It's meant to just stop a person from messing with your stuff, if you walk away from your computer. But yeah, that's what it means. So let's unlock. Looks good. Transactions category. Okay, cool. So we got income. This could be more obvious. It's not super great. Maybe tab them. Like an indent. That might be what we do. Or an underline or something. Because, yeah. But let's see if it fixed the bug. So uncategorized expense looks good. Uncategorized income, not so good. I mean, it works, but yeah. Okay. Okay. It's all of them. I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's all of them. Totally fine. I think that actually is preferred. That makes sense. So there's uncategorized, and then there's income. Yeah, there's the rest. So perfect. I like that. I think that makes perfect sense. Excellent. Can you make the items indented so that the headings and organization is just a little more obvious to the user? And then, yeah, it said the JavaScript engineering, very little to say against it. A lot of it in its favor. Fetch-shaped IPC seam, API.js, keeping every call site portable, factories over singletons, Python Oracle, the write through debounced call, a cell saver with page hide, flushing, and keep alive, the lint fenced, merchant lexicon, and a trainer whose calibration explicitly refuses any gate with a single wrong fire. So it likes it, which is cool. And then let's see here. Yeah, so we did this, and then the other ones were fixed in a separate one because we did a category update. So pretty interesting. I think it's cool. Again, we want to try to verify the accuracy of these things as much as possible. And I feel like throwing some other models at it would really help with that. And just make me feel a lot more confident in some of the things that we're implementing. Obviously, the model is more capable than I am as a JavaScript developer. So when I'm asking it to develop things, some of it can be definitely over my head. So that's just how it is. That's vibe coding, right? So there's going to be some level of trust that we're putting into the model, but that's also why I want it to be open source, because a better JavaScript developer can look at it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, we could tighten this up and not lose any functionality. So, but again, the pros are that it's not super critical and important. We're not doing any credentials. We're not doing any accounts. We're not storing information. We're not custodying. We don't have any of your data in our custody, or anything like that. So it's all local. It's all private. It's all offline. So the vulnerabilities are, if there are any, are going to be completely local, and it's just a matter of making sure people don't touch your machine, which is that's just right, obviously. So looks good. Drop down fixed. We're not going to check that off just yet. Done. Let's check these indents. I'm going to probably turn off encryption for this again because I don't want to be slowed down. Yep, this looks a lot better. Yeah. Yep. Groceries. Yeah, this is looking sweet. This looks great. I do think I am going to update the colors here. I know we've been using this gray. I think it should be the accent color. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it should be the accent color. I think that makes a lot more sense. I don't know. The gray just kind of feels gray. Just feels gray, you know, like gray's works here, but I don't know. It's just not quite as eye-catching up here. So that's UI fix. But let's go ahead and commit this while we have this. So UI fix to drop down menus, commit, sync. Okay. Good deal. And then, yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, I just want to update that real quick. I mean, that's an easy win. So let's do that. So we're going to do, let's just exit out of this, fresh session, check my usage real quick. Oh yeah, usage is fine. The weekly limit is creeping, but our 5-hour session's looking good. So let's do Excuse me. Right here in the transactions section, let's update the color of the filters when they are active. Empty filters can stay the same. Active filters should go from dark gray to using our accent color ramp. Let us substitute whatever is there now with accent or color accent. I'm thinking 600 for the border and text, and color accent 400, actually 300 for the background. I mean, we can always update that ourselves without spending tokens once it finds it for us. But yeah, I think the grays were hard coded, so I just wanted to put those tokens in for us, and then we could just update them ourselves. Yeah, they were hard coded. Disgusting. Or no, that's our color ramp. Sorry. Let's see. This is where. That's just a bash output. Yeah, it was doing the color mixing. Oh, geez. Yeah, and listen, color mixing is a good tool to have. It's still using them. Let's see. Oh, it's probably using them for the hover. Yeah, that's fine if it's for the hover. Let me see. I just do not want it to look bad, guys. Statements, transactions. All right, nice little hover there. We'll do that. I feel like this is wrong. The active filter test now use accents out. One heads up. 231 contracts will under the for small text noticeably softer. Would restore legibility while staying on the ramp. But why does it look that way? Because I've done this 600 on 300 before, and it. Yeah. Remove the transparency. I think that is causing the colors to not behave the way they should, because 600 over 300 should be plenty of contrast. Yeah, like if you imagine, if we go to tint.dev here, I'm not going to show you, but yeah, 600 over 300, like that's enough. Especially 6 over 2 or 7 over 3. Remove the mixing. Every state is now a flat ramp token. Good. I gotta remove the password. We have to do that now. Okay. Really? Does my 300 look like that? I'm so confused. Yeah, 300 is not that dark. What is it doing? Where? Transactions.css, filter chip, yeah. Let's see here. That's the 100? I mean, I guess. I feel like it's... Hmm. Okay. Okay, well, let's do 200. And then the hover can be, we'll double check the hover here. Can I refresh this? No. All right, let's see. Okay, let's bump it up to 700. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, the hover can be 300, I think, is better. Let's try that. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, I like that. Um, yeah. Yeah, I'm done with that. That looks nice. And then, yeah, if we go here, do here. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense than the gray. I think the gray was just not visually captivating enough. Um, this makes much more sense. What bothers me is that I think that we're using 700 there, and I think our buttons are only, and there's, yeah, uh, um, yeah, I think the buttons are only 600, and they're going down to like 200, 6 to 2. Let's check that out real quick. Buttons. 400? This is what I'm saying, guys. What is going on here? For primary call to action, add year, add account, export, background, accent primary, border. There shouldn't be a border. It should be accent primary. I don't know why I did that. That was literally me. That was just me being worse than AI, I guess. I don't know. Okay. And then the hover. Let's see, button. Where's the primary hover? Not disabled hover 300. Accent primary. What is accent primary? Style. That's text. I almost lost my mind. Yeah, 600. Okay, that's what I thought. 600. So 600 to 300. Yeah, so that's way too much. Let's do 400. Let's do 500. Statements, transactions. Yeah, that looks way better. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. That looks way better. I guess the calendar. See, the calendar stepper should use the same. It should inherit. Oh my god, dude. UI, man. AI and UI. No worries. Uh, please update the calendar stepper buttons. They should be the same styles. In fact, they should be. They should be button primary. Yeah, I don't know what they were using before. Hopefully it just shows, it just says. This is all going to be such a pain in the ass to reverse engineer for dark. That'll probably be a whole stream. I'll do like a 4-hour stream, and the whole goal for that stream will just to get dark mode to behave like light mode, and you'll see just what a pain in the ass it is. I think I'll have two branches. I'll do it myself because I know how to do it myself, and then I'll have Fable do it, and we'll see if I can beat Fable, or if Fable just smokes me and it just does it in a one shot, and it's like, yeah, we'll see. Okay, yeah, stepper button. Yeah, so it had its own class. We don't need that. It should just be a button primary. It'll have it'll have some slightly different things, but all in all, it should just be the same stuff. Let's take a look. That consolidates our CSS. That makes me happy. Less CSS, the better. Great. Look at that. It's awesome. What is this? Do I like that? Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, just like a little behavior. That's fine. Actually, I don't know if I like that. You guys see that? Look. Like, it moves, right? Like a button. I don't really want it to do that. We're gonna get rid of that. Where's the transform? It's like 1 pixel too. There it is. That should fix that. I really just don't want it to. Yeah. I prefer that. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we're at an hour and 10. Like I said, I just want to do a quick one. So that'll be it for now. When we come back, let's go ahead and commit these changes. Thank you. UI button unification. What else did we do? Transactions, UI, home, statements. Yeah, that's about it. Just the button stuff. Save changes. Yeah, maybe next time we'll work a little bit on. I mean, we're not really done with dark or light mode, so we're not going to work on dark mode next time. We'll probably just wrap up some more things on our to-do list. Maybe do some testing. What do we got here? Yeah, we'll probably test the EU imports, test the columns, do some bug bashing here. Forecast UI revamp. Probably won't do that. This won't be till later. We might do this. Yeah, we'll do that. One more UI thing. And I'm really thinking about the custom logo for merchants. I think that would look kind of nice, but there's just some things that we have to consider for that. Where that goes, if it'll make the table look messy, how to calculate that, make it look consistent. So, but anyway, that'll be it for now. Signing off. Don't forget to go to the website. Again, the link is in the description. Just go to the website and you can go to download, go to the beta, download the beta for free, and it'll take you to the download page. Again, it's free. You just type a 0 in this box, download it. And like I said, give it a shot. Give me your feedback, write a review there, drop a comment in the video, and I will be happy to take your feedback and shape the perfect budgeting app. So take care.